The rain fell in sheets, washing the neon lights of the city into rivers of color along the asphalt. Detective Marcus Reed stood outside the dimly lit diner, hands in his coat pockets, his badge weighing heavy at his waist. His department had already made up their minds. Daniel Whitaker was guilty. Marcus had been on the force long enough to know how these cases worked. A young woman found dead behind a nightclub, strangled. A man with no alibi who knew the victim. A public eager for justice. The department wanted a quick resolution, and Daniel, a quiet schoolteacher with no record, was the easiest answer. But something about it didn't sit right with him. He pushed the door open and stepped inside. The diner smelled of burnt coffee and fried food. A few tired souls sat hunched over plates of eggs and toast, but Marcus had eyes only for the man in the farthest booth. Daniel Whitaker, mid-30s, white, scruffy beard. He had a haunted look in his blue eyes, his hands wrapped around a cup of coffee that had long since gone cold. He barely looked up when Marcus slid into the seat across from him. "Mr. Whitaker," Marcus said, his voice level. Daniel exhaled, his breath shaking. "Detective Reed." "Long night." Daniel let out a dry, humorless chuckle. "2 nights. Haven't slept since they dragged me into that station." He ran a hand through his disheveled hair. "Am I under arrest, or is this just another round of questions?" "You're free to leave," Marcus said. "For now." Daniel looked at him warily. "Then why are you here?" Marcus studied him. "Because something doesn't add up." Daniel swallowed, his fingers tightening around the mug. "I didn't kill her." "Then let's talk about what you were doing near the club that night." Daniel closed his eyes briefly, as if trying to piece together the memories. "She called me. Said she needed help. I was already home, but I couldn't ignore it." He looked up at Marcus, desperation in his eyes. "So I went to find her." Marcus tapped his fingers against the table. "Why didn't you call the police?" Daniel let out a bitter laugh. "Come on, detective. You know why." Marcus did. The wrong person in the wrong place at the wrong time didn't always get the benefit of the doubt. "I got to the club," Daniel continued. "Asked around. No one had seen her. I tried calling her back, but no answer." He let out a shuddering breath. "And then I heard the sirens." Marcus leaned forward. "And you left?" Daniel looked down, his jaw tightening. "Yeah." "Why?" Daniel hesitated. "Because I was scared." "Of what?" Daniel's voice dropped to almost a whisper. "Of being the only suspect." A beat of silence passed between them. "You said she was scared of someone," Marcus said. "Did she tell you who?" Daniel shook his head. "No, just that she was afraid. That she had seen something she shouldn't have." Marcus sat back, weighing his words. "You ever been arrested before, Daniel?" "No, not even a parking ticket." "Then you know how this looks." Daniel exhaled sharply. "Yeah, I do." Marcus glanced toward the rain-slicked window. The department was ready to charge him. The press was already sniffing around, and with the city on edge, no one wanted loose ends. But Marcus trusted his instincts, and his gut told him Daniel wasn't a killer. "You got any enemies?" Marcus asked. Daniel blinked. "Me? No. I'm a high school history teacher. My biggest enemies are students who hate homework." Marcus didn't smile. "What about her? Did she mention anyone?" Daniel hesitated. "She was tutoring a guy. A rich kid, always in trouble. She said he made her uncomfortable, but she didn't want to stop helping him. Thought she could save him." He scoffed. "That was her way." "Name?" "Matthew Harlow." Marcus's stomach tightened. Harlow, as in the son of Roger Harlow, the real estate mogul with deep political ties and enough money to make problems disappear. Marcus had tangled with the elder Harlow before. Men like him didn't play fair. "You think he had something to do with it?" Daniel asked, catching the shift in Marcus's expression. "I think it's worth looking into," Marcus said, standing. "Stay reachable. And don't do anything stupid." Daniel's voice wavered. "You believe me, don't you?" Marcus met his eyes. "I believe something isn't right." Daniel nodded slowly, understanding the unspoken words. Marcus left the diner, stepping into the rain, his mind racing. If Matthew Harlow was involved, then this case was bigger than anyone wanted to admit. And if he pushed too hard, he knew exactly what would happen. But the truth mattered more than politics. And Marcus Reed wasn't going to let an innocent man take the fall. Not on his watch.